Hi, I'm Travis. I want to talk to you about one of the secrets of happiness. There's many secrets of happiness, but one of them is hormesis. And hormesis is basically you put a stress on the body, you take the stress away, and you rest and recover to be stronger than before you put the stress on. So everybody's familiar with exercise. Exercise is the stress, and then the rest and the recovery is where you get the gains. Very underestimated part of it, but definitely the most important part. So there's many different forms of hormesis. There's cold therapy, hot therapy, fasting, hypoxia, many other forms. But those are the most common that we see. There's even water fasting. People are doing that now. But your body adjusts to all these things. Now, with hot therapy, heat therapy, it's like you jump in a hot tub, right? Your body has to, you're going to vasodilate, your heart rate goes up, your metabolism goes up. Your body has to adjust to those conditions, and it will. But you get better at handling heat. But cold therapy, if you do hot tub, if you have a heart problem, that could be an issue. So check with your doctor before you do heat therapy. But cold therapy, it's the opposite. You have to do vasoconstriction. Your body's got to produce heat. You produce heat in your mitochondria, all that kind of stuff. So you adapt by creating more mitochondria, and you get better at producing heat and all that kind of stuff. So exercise is an interesting one because there's a bunch of stuff going on. You get the micro tears in the muscles, which repair to be stronger than before. You get the inflammation, and you get reactive oxygen species or free radicals. So if you do, like, cold therapy is great at eliminating inflammation. It kills inflammation instantly. So if you want to kill inflammation, you can use cold therapy. If you want to get rid of the free radicals, you take antioxidants. Now, part of all of the above, like when you exercise, you do the micro tears, you create reactive oxygen species, and you create inflammation. Your body's got to adapt to all those changes, and it gets good at it. If you don't want those gains, like let's say you have 2 games, you're a professional sports player, you play 1 game today, and you got next game tomorrow. They're both important games. You play really hard at this game. You have a cold bath afterwards, and you take lots of antioxidants, and you feel fantastic afterwards, so you can play again the next day. But let's say you're training, and if you're training, you want those gains. You want the adaptations that happen. So you might not want to do the cold bath afterwards because that takes the inflammation away, which your body adjusts to. You also maybe not take so many antioxidants because your body has to clear out those free radicals on its own, and it does. It produces its own antioxidants and stuff and takes care of it itself, so it can get good at that. Now, that's with exercise. Now, fasting is an interesting one too, because what happens during a fast, you're not eating, and after about 8 hours, your body depletes all its glycogen, and you have to burn fat. Now, certain cells can burn fats, some can't. The lowlifes and the cancer cells and all these ones that you don't want around, they end up dying because they can't burn fat, and they only have fat to burn. So they slough off the bad ones. It's called autophagy, and your body does autophagy all the time, but you can speed it up with fasting. So you don't eat, cells that can't burn fats die off. What happens once you rest and recover, you build new cells. They can burn fat. So every time you do a fast, you become a better fat burner. It has many health benefits. Disease prevention is one of them. All kinds of health benefits with it. But that's fasting. Hypoxia is basically holding your breath. You get better and better at it. And, there's also restrictive blood flow training. So you can put tourniquets on your arms, but you don't occlude the artery. You do venous return, and you might partially occlude that. You could titrate it so that it's not totally occluding venous return, or you can totally occlude venous return but never occlude arteries. You still feed the limb, but that gets you all kinds of gains. You're going to have to create more mitochondria and all that kind of stuff to, provide for the muscles. And what happens is it's effective for above and below where the tourniquet might be. Now, there's another unit out there, it's called Katsu, and Katsu Training, where it's a pump like a blood pressure cuff, and you put it to a certain amount of pressure and it'll partially occlude your venous return, and you can cycle it. So you put it has a setting, you put it on a cycle, it tightens it off, it occludes, then it releases and allows the blood flow to flow freely, and repeat. And what that does is it does all kinds of magical things, just like the occlusion training, or what do they call it? Blood flow restriction, so BFR. But it increases your growth hormones, and it increases, like the lactate, is the lactic acids, what increase your growth hormones, and your testosterone, all those sorts of things. It all goes up with this kind of training. So anyways, hormesis is basically the opposite of abundance. So what's happened in our society is we have so much abundance. We have everything we want. At one time, we used to eat about 3 teaspoons of sugar a year, humans. Now we eat, on average, over 150 pounds of this stuff. So we absolutely have an abundance, and like it's making people sick and overweight and unhappy. So we can do all the things that we used to do. We used to have to do fasting. We had no choice because we didn't have food. We had to go find it. We had to exercise. We had no choice. We had to endure all the climates of cold, hot, whatever. We had to endure all kinds of things. And now we're pampered. So being pampered makes people, we're not meant for that. We're meant to move, and we're meant to endure those things. So we're meant for this hormesis. We're meant to adapt and do all that stuff. But now we can do controlled stuff. So people work, they sit for work, they're not moving anymore. You can do controlled hormesis. So you can control how much cold you have and for how long and all these things, so you can adapt better and make the most out of it. And that's one of the secrets to happiness. You have to have the lows to have the highs, but you can control it. And one of the things that I do on a regular basis is hiking. So in hiking, you're enduring the environment. Whatever Mother Nature throws at you. You might be cold, you might be sore, you might be tired, you might be hungry, you might be thirsty. Who knows what the environment's going to throw at you, but it's going to throw a whole ton of stuff at you. And then you endure it, you overcome, and when you're done, you're going to have the best meal of your life, you're going to have the best shower of your life, you're really going to enjoy those little things that we take for granted every day. And also the meditative aspect of being with nature, and the spiritual aspect and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, there's one of the secrets to happiness. There's many, but that's one of them. You gotta do it. If you like the video, share, subscribe, like, make sure people that could use it get it, and read more on hormesis on my blog. Enjoy.